And now we will have Mr. David Yu.
Thank you, Karina. Good evening. I'm David Yu. I'm the Executive Director of the June 4th Memorial Museum in New York City. I'd like to give you a 1-minute report about our new museum. This museum was founded last year based on the work we did in collaboration with the Victims of Communism Memorial Foundation here in D.C. We had a special exhibit here and got generous support and encouragement by the foundation. The museum displays a large collection of artifacts from 1989, including flags, pamphlets, old newspapers, a bloody shirt worn by a woman hit by the armed police, and the bloody banner used by a teacher to bind a bullet wound in Tiananmen Square. The museum received very good reviews and very extensive media coverage. The only problem is our fundraising is lagging. As of now, all of us work as unpaid volunteers. Now, it's an honor to work for the museum, but we believe this all-volunteer model is not sustainable. So anyone who has leads of potential benefactors, please let us know, and we'll vigorously pursue those leads. Now, why do we want to have the museum? First of all, of course, we want to remember the victims of the brutal massacre of June 4th, 1989. Secondly, just like the statue behind me, we want to use the museum to honor the Chinese people's heroic struggle for democracy 35 years ago. That is a struggle that, in a sense, is continuing. I want to reflect a little bit on my own pro-democracy experience. That experience goes back, believe it or not, 44 years to 1980, when I was a sophomore at Beijing University. I took part in the student-free demonstration, the student-free elections that year. Why did I choose to become a democracy advocate? At that time, there were two reasons. One is, it was obvious to me that democracy was the most rational and the fairest political system. The other reason, which was even more important to me at the time, was that I witnessed the devastation wrought by the Chinese Communist Party dictator Mao Zedong. And I felt that democracy would be a way to prevent such devastation from happening again in the future. It would also bring better lives for my fellow countrymen and countrywomen. Now, a rational and fair political system, a gateway to better lives, these are good reasons for advocating democracy. But when I advocate democracy today, my motivation, most of it, is quite different from what I had back in the 1980s. The Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, has now become a mortal threat to the whole free world. As Francis just described, it subjugated Hong Kong a few years ago. And it looks like it's going to try to subjugate Taiwan very soon. But the CCP's ambition goes far beyond that. It's no less than the domination of the world. Now, what will the CCP do if it dominates the world? Why, it's obvious. It's going to enslave you and me and our children and our grandchildren, much like it has been enslaving the Chinese people for 3 generations and the Hong Kong people for 3 years. So I think the conclusion is obvious. The conclusion is obvious. The CCP must be stopped. It must be destroyed. Now, the CCP must be destroyed. That sounds like a good motto. The only problem is that it's not so elegant. How do you make that phrase elegant? Well, my friend Arthur Waldron, who is a professor at the University of Pennsylvania, found a solution in history. Over 2,000 years ago, the Roman Republic faced a tough adversary in the city of Carthage. While a lot of the senators thought Rome and Carthage could coexist, Cato the Elder believed that that's not possible. So after every speech at the Senate House, he would say, Carthago delenta est, which is Latin, meaning Carthage must be destroyed. So to borrow from Cato, we can say CCP delenta est, CCP must be destroyed. So I agree totally with Dr. Chen that there's no chance for the CCP and the free world to coexist in the long term. So that is my motto. CCP delenta est. It's easy to remember because delenta est sounds like is deleted, right? It means, of course, that the CCP must be destroyed. And it is my fondest hope that some of you here today will adopt this motto as your own. CCP delenta est. CCP must be destroyed. Thank you.